This is my bike. Yes, there are many like it, but this one is mine.
Hello YouTubers, subscribers and friends, welcome to my channel, 1 Down 4 Up. I was called out by a couple of motor vloggers about a week apart from each other about 10 things that I hate about my bike. Those motor vloggers are like from the East Coast. The first one was Moto, and the second one was PistonRods. Don't worry, I'll put a link to their channels down in the description box below. Now I gotta talk fast, my battery's down on my camera. So I ride a 2005 Honda Shadow Spirit. There's nothing that I dislike about this bike, but the bike I had before this was a 1975 Kawasaki KZ400, and I got a whole list of things that I disliked about that bike. I don't want to say hate, but the title says hate, so I'm gonna say hate. So because my memory's pretty bad, I got a list, and I got a tape down here in my tank. I tried it earlier, but the list flew out of my hand, so I had to go back and tape it to my tank. So we'll start with number 10 and we'll work backwards. But before I start down this list, let's run that video footage of that cafe racer that I'm talking about right about now.
This is my bike. Yes, there are many like this bike, but this one is mine.
Alright, that was my cafe racer Mad Max, and I sold it so I could get a bigger bike. Alright, number 10 on the list. Number 10! It was an old bike. That's why one of the things I hated about it was old bike. Number 9! It had a broken seat. Every time I go around a curve or something like that, the seat would shift and move. And even one time it slid out from under my butt and landed in the street, and a couple cars ran over it. Number 8! It didn't have a speedometer like this one does, so I had no idea how fast I was going. Even I met up with Arizona RE one time and watched a video back after we did a meetup, and he said I was doing like 75 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. I had no clue. Number 7, bar end mirrors. I had bar end mirrors on it, not like these Mickey Mouse ears ones that I have here, but I had bar end mirrors on it that kept getting loose and falling off, and I actually lost them in a vlog as I was riding around. I don't like bar end mirrors. Number 6. Number 6 things I hate about that cafe racer was the suspension. Man, it sucked. Compared to riding on this Honda Shadow, it's like riding a Cadillac compared to riding that cafe racer. The suspension sucked on it, although I did need fork seals in the front, but it's just every little bump and a hole in the road, I could feel it, and made for a very uncomfortable ride. Number 5, if you watch my older videos, you'll see that I had a leaking gas cap. I tried many videos repairing it and failed every single time, and found out that I was going to have to get it welded, a new gas cap, which I never got around to doing because I sold the bike. Number 4, riding position. On this bike I can sit straight up and pretty comfortable. The seat, the suspension. On the cafe racer I was always forward like that. And after a period of long hours of riding like I do every time I go out, your back tends to hurt pretty bad. So that's one of the things I hate about riding on that cafe racer. Although it's very cool looking, the seating position sucked big time. Number 3, although in the videos you look at in pictures, it looks like a small bike, but it's a pretty big bike, and it was heavy. I hated how heavy it was, man. Every time I run out of gas, I freaking have to push it, and it's really heavy bike, especially you get in the sand on these shoulders here in Arizona. Really hard to push it through the sands. Number 2. Number 2 thing that I hated about that bike was it had a small gas tank. A lot of people ask, why did you put $1 in it? I don't know. I just thought that was funny. But the most that I could put in it was like $3.50. So I'd have to stop a lot, especially all the riding I would do, and fill up with gas. And sometimes I didn't want to stop, so I would run out of gas. And there was no reserve on that bike either, so that's another thing I hated about that. It wasn't the original gas tank that was on there. I have no idea what bike that gas tank came off of. But yeah, hated the gas tank size, the capacity of holding fuel. But what's up, brother? And the last number one reason I hate it was no fuel gauge. Absolutely no fuel gauge whatsoever. No fuel light, no fuel gauge. That's why a lot of my older videos I start off at the gas station, because I want to make sure I had gas in it, because I never knew when I was going to run out of gas. Even though a lot of times I just put $1 in, you know, I don't know, I just like to test myself, see how far I can go on $1. But the reason I couldn't fill it up to the top, because the gas cap leaked so much, and it would smell like gas and run down the side of the tank and get on my legs. By the time I got home, I smelled like freaking gasoline. So those are the 10 reasons, the 10 things I hated about my Cafe Racer Mad Max. If you haven't checked out my older videos, go ahead and check that out. Get on my channel and check out the older videos. I sold it. I bought that bike for $500 and I sold it for $1,000. And turned around and bought Roxanne here for $1,000. And I really like the bike. I mean, all those things that I hate about it, there was a lot more things that I loved about it. So there's my list of 10 things I hate about my Cafe Racer 1975 Kawasaki KZ400. And I want to thank Moto and PistonRods for calling me out. Like I said, I'll put their names in the description box down below to their channels. And I guess this comes to the point where I call out a couple motor vloggers. So I want to give a shout out to my boys over there in North Carolina, Wolf and Crow. Calling you out to do 10 things you hate about your bike, or 10 things you hate about motor vlogging or riding, whatever. And my other boy CruiserBrewser. Don't worry, I'll put their names down in the description box below also. And if you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't cost anything, it's for free. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. There you go, 10 things I hate about my bike, Cafe Racer. Get out, go!